every time I talk to someone like that, you guys don't consider yourself hero. It's just like something what you do, right?
I tell you why though. I tell you because it's very, very lucky to be in the position where you can do good and also make money at the same time. It's not easy, but if you are in that position, it's amazing because what everyone wants. Everyone wants, I think, to have an impact and make money at the same time. Most people don't want just to make money because that's not really fulfilling.
So this is where you stand, right? This is where you stand already. Like you believe most people want to do both?
I think most people want to do both. Not necessarily do charity but I think most people want to have an impact. I think people that I met that were not able to create an impact, they were not very happy.
So even though they would be having money or they would be successful in their jobs.
Yeah, because I think for me it's like first what success means to you. I think that's the most important thing. That's for me was had to do with, at the beginning I wanted to make money because I don't come from a rich family. I had to go through, I wouldn't say poverty, but below middle class. Let's say I had moments in my life and when I was younger as well, when we had no money for food or there was little money for food. And I think I grew up with this idea of like money equals success, because when you are coming from that background, that's what you do. You just see people with money and that's what you think about. And then I started to have some success. I had a few businesses and one of them was very profitable for a while. But it was not fulfilling. It was literally just selling products and wasn't even the good products. It was just any products, drop shipping, and the profits were good, but customers were not happy, but didn't make me happy. It was actually very, very depressed after a while.
Really? So at the moment where you were most successful financially, right? In the past, was that you were feeling not happy?
Yeah. Then I lost everything as well. So I think karma kind of, took a payback because it wasn't what I wanted to do. I don't know if it's karma or destiny, or I don't believe necessarily in destiny, or both. Yeah. Because I think it's like, in a way, when that thing happened, where basically I got a little bit screwed over by my business partner, and I lost pretty much everything I had, and I had to go through divorce, and then it was like everything bad happened, like concentrated in 2 years. I think that allowed me then to reevaluate a lot of things, and it's like a door closes and another one open, right? And that's basically what happened. Like a door closed and I thought I lost so much, and then the door that opened allowed me to get everything back and move my career forward. And also I realized what really makes me happy. And I think what makes me happy was, helping people. But what makes me happy, fulfilled, is helping people. But what I love is e-commerce and entrepreneurship and business. So for me, it was always like, how can I make the two? So when we started Viceroy Group, which is an e-commerce company, we started working with some accessories in the health sector, and also we started with supplements, and especially the supplement one was the brands that I felt more compelled to push. It's because we were getting videos of customers say, hey, my life has been improving, I'm sleeping better, I feel much happier, or my relationship improved because my energy improved, right?
Wow.
And so I realized that we need to do more. And we were speaking to Corey, my business partner, he's very much the same as me. So I think I was very lucky then to have found a person that has the same values that I had. But like, why don't we create an e-commerce platform that allows people everywhere in the world to create a business online and achieving financial freedom? Or freedom to work wherever they want. So there's a lot of aspects with entrepreneurship and freedom in general. And that's why we created basically Popup. So to me, it's like, yes, an e-commerce platform and everything, but at the bottom was this empowering entrepreneurship on a global level. But at the bottom of that, it is helping people on a global level to fulfill what their dreams at the end of the day. That's what it is. I mean, it sounds a bit corny, I know, but
no, I'm completely in awe. I'm so quietly listening because this is what I was like, I think we have parallel story in terms of growing up in a neighborhood of Bratislava.
Yeah, well,
Jeez.
I've been to
Just
Bratislava. It's
strong.
nice now, but probably 15, 20 years ago.
20 years ago was the same kind of story, and making money was the thing which we kind of were aiming towards. Something like, because growing up in communist area and in these panel blocks, if you remember, probably in Kiev and Ukraine, there are the same, like, Russian panel blocks. That's my background. And I just wanted to get out, and I wanted to make money, and I wanted to be successful. And I also thought that that's the end of it. And it felt like climbing a mountain, and okay, I'm successful. I'm in the Forbes magazine, and that's it. And I was just like not happy. And I had to go through a journey where I had to rewind my life. Ended up in India as well, and started to create something else, just like a purpose-driven company. And now with this talk show, so I'm finding people with these amazing stories. That was my dream, right? Like, not to just have for customers, but find similar value-based people. And I'm just listening to you quietly because I'm like, okay, I understand.
Yeah, but I think from speaking to other entrepreneurs as well, it's very, very similar. I think we all went through similar background, and I think it's important to tell the stories, because people that are not doing this, or people that have not embarked in this journey, they have a false idea of what entrepreneurs are. Because I think, especially on YouTube or the general show, we always showcase the stories of success, and we never focus on the failures. We never focus on what happened before, right? We just focus on what's happening right now. And a lot of like these influencers or these business people that I see, they have stories that are not really relatable. Like, I was watching an episode the other day of Diary of a CEO from Stephen Bartlett, and there was a story of this girl that, you went on Love Island, and then you got visibility there, and then you started a business and you make a ton of money. Like, or Kim Kardashian, perfect example.
Right, I saw that post.
Yeah, it's like, it's not relatable, right? It's like, yes, you're working very hard. I'm not saying you don't have us to teach us or things about entrepreneurship, but can I relate to someone that, her dad was like a super famous lawyer, and your mom was super well connected? Most of us, they don't have the network and don't have the money at the beginning to do it. I'm not saying that, she did a good job by taking the money that she had and the network that she has and making something massive. But I think, from my experience, going from 0 to 1 is the hardest thing. If you're already starting at 1, going from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, it's easy. I mean, for me, it took me 20 years from 0 to 1. And 1, I mean, where it's like, I can pay myself a wage, I have a business that is functional and profitable, and I have a network of investors, I have a network of like-minded people that they can leverage to move my business forward, right? Going from 0 to that is super hard. Really, really hard. So for people that say, oh yeah, I started with nothing. Well, if you start with 1, it's a lot, it's yeah, you can still, it's great that you didn't screw it up. I mean, it's like Donald Trump started with 1 and was still managed to be like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 billions in debt now, but he ended up to be the president of the United States. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he did something right. But all I'm saying is, like, I think going from 0 to 1 is very, very hard. And I think we need more relatable role models. And I think Zelensky in Ukraine is teaching us this today more than before.
Yeah, this is also why I decided first, like, almost like put a pause on this purpose and profit type of looking for entrepreneurs and the role models, because from what you were talking about, that you take it now for granted, I love to see how you are being, because the way you speak, you're already in that mindset, in that frame. Like, for you, it's so normal to connect profit and purpose. For you, it's so normal to, even the way you speak, it's like, all of our entrepreneurs, they want to create impact, not just the profit. I still disagree. I still think it's maybe, if we talk about 20% of the whole generation, of the whole planet, which is thinking this way, I think we're being generous. I still think the majority of, when we say entrepreneur, or when we are talking about these entrepreneurs, it's a lot about money. and success.
Yeah, I think you're right. I agree with
And
you.
just because I think you already surrounded yourself, you said you have a partner with the same values. I think you're already creating that, I like to call it a field, but network, people around yourself who are living that.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think that everyone wants to have an impact and make money. They just don't know it yet. They just don't know.
Okay.
They just
I
don't know.
love this. I'm going to
No, it's true. I think you're right to say there's very few people that will be like this, but I'm pretty sure that if they experience the creating an impact and making money, they will never go back to it, because it's like making money. It's an empty goal, right? This is all what I always say. Is like, if you set up your goal and you make a number, you put a number in your goal, you're destined to fail as well, because every goal that is achieved, once you achieve it, is no longer motivating. Like if you say, I want to make 1 million, once you made 1 million, let's say, what's next? I want to make 10 million. Okay, you made 10 million. Okay, but then what is what is your motivation to move forward? And then what I always say is, like, you have to find your mission, your why, or whatever it is, with something that cannot be achieved. And people are like, what? Why would I set the goal that cannot be achieved? Because if you set the goal that cannot be achieved, it's always going to be motivating. You're always going to be more for it. So it's like, for me, it was helping others by doing good, right? So I will never be able to help every person in the world. Like, I know that but this gonna keep on moving forward, and it's a mission that is always gonna stay with me. So I think setting this type of goal that are, fixed, you're destining yourself to constantly needing something different. It's like, and this is why people with money, they're never happy, because you buy the boat, you buy the car.
Yeah, there's always somebody with a bigger boat, right?
There's always someone with a bigger boat and the bigger car, and then you bought the car, but like, even my friends, and bought cars, Lamborghinis or sports car. People that I spoke to, they're like, they told me the same thing. It's like, yeah, you buy it, you're happy for one day. Once you got used to it,
it's just
maybe a week. It's just
maybe Lamborghini lasts. I hope Lamborghini would last longer than a week. But
maybe a month. I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. Once you get used to it, it's just an object. It's not really fulfilling. So I think it's like, I will never be the guy that is like, oh, I give all my profits away, or I just want to do charity or stuff like that. I'm a businessman, and I think I want to be profitable, and I want to give work to people. I want to create a big company. But at the same time, I think, how much money do you need?
Exactly. How much is enough, right?
How much is enough? I mean, it's like when I hear someone is worth, like, I don't know, 20 billion, it's like, what are you doing with this? It's like, you're gonna die of it. It's like, you live into your kids, but this is enough for your kids, to your future kids, from the future generation. It's, once you're dead, you're dead. Once you're dead, we're all the same.
That's it, right? You're not taking it money. But I love how you say, like, if people would know how is it to make an impact and profit at the same time, that they all we do. I mean, this is why I'm doing it. I have a kids, right? Like, they're 16 and 13. By the way, I loved how your daughter popped up on your LinkedIn.
Oh yeah.
I think I replayed it like 20 times. She was so cute. It's like, that what you're doing.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking, like, like, if I can give them any gift, like, it wouldn't be the money which I'm leaving behind or anything, but it would be more like how to give them this mindset, how to show them that we have one planet, we have one world. I mean, we did a pretty horrible job in keeping this planet, having this planet at this stage as it is, thinking about environment and climate and this. But it's to give them the idea that whenever they're going to be doing entrepreneurship or any type of business, that they will have a component in it which they would be helping either people or the planet or this, like, different things, but making the, corny as it might sound, making the world a better place, kind of having this as a standard.
Yes, I hope for the future generation. I think Gen X and not Gen X, Gen Z, and my daughter as well, which I think my daughter is 10. I don't know what's the name of it. It was called Generation Alpha.
I don't know.
I think it's the new generation after the Gen Z. They have completely different models of leadership. They have they value freedom above all. They need relatable role models. They're very, very much involved in impact-driven companies. Like I do see that way more. And 18 and 19-year-old, when I was 18, 19, I didn't care about anything, honestly. But I see 18, 19-year-old so much engaged within the community.
It's amazing, right?
So I think hopefully it's going to be a better planet, a better place.
You reacted super quickly, like you created commerce for good, correct?
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that, and why did you decided to join it? I mean, create it, not join it, create it.
I think selfishly for me was inevitable. Like I couldn't do any, like it wasn't not even thinking. I was like, the war started, I was on my computer, okay, what do we do? Because we were here, I was in Kiev a week before they start bombing.
I heard that, yeah.
So like I was there with my wife and like never thought anything can happen. But my wife was like, let's go. And I was like, where do we go? What do we do? It's like, it's what can we be useful here? Because you go crazy otherwise. You need to fight against, you need to support, you need to fight together with the people on the ground. And the best thing that was do was, what can we do to help? And we were getting all requests from most people on the ground, like, hey, I need this, I need that. And because of Viceroy, we work with 300 suppliers. And we had like, we have 3 scouters actually in our team. It's people just working with supply chain and all of this. My cat, which...
Do you have a cat?
Yeah, too. And it's basically, they were wanting things like radios, bulletproof vests and things like that. So we're like, cool. And we start calling, we start mobilizing. Within 1 day or 2, we had already the products to be shipped. So we're like, okay, so let's actually do this. And then we had some people that they were contacting us, and it was like, can you help us out with some funds, because there's a lot of people that need supplies that they can't get them, like old people, disabled, pregnant women and stuff like that. So they couldn't leave, especially in Kharkiv during the time of the heavy bombing and heavy shelling. And so what we did, we created basically a network of over 25 volunteers that we were able to send money straight away, because we have a monobank account. And so we could use our Irish bank account to transfer to monobank, which the funds arrive immediately, and from monobank then to people, which were arrive immediately. So they were able to get this fund super quickly by using this bypassing like the usual channel. Otherwise, it takes 3 days to arrive money.
Right.
No, but also there's more money, like $30, $50, $100, right? Because we give it to people, and then they're sending us the receipts of the stuff that they buy. And they're just basically going around collecting orders from people. It's like, hey, I need this, I need medicine, I need bread. Because humanitarian aid takes quite a while to arrive. So you have this large organization that, I don't know, let's say you raise a million in GoFundMe, right? Like let's talk about $1 million. So you have to wait 2 weeks before the funds arrive in your bank account. And then you're given to an organization like Red Cross or any organization that is international. Yes. So lots of paperwork as that. Then they buy stuff, and then they have to arrive on the border, tracking, distribution center. I'm not saying this stuff is useless. I'm not saying that, of course. But reactive things on the ground where we can help like 400, 500 people every week. And if I do it, and I can, and you do it, then we help 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people, right? So instead of getting the goods on the ground from the outside, we were actually working to the goods that are already in Ukraine, and then getting distributed. The distribution is the issue right now, especially for, as I said, those categories, disabled, old people, and pregnant women, where there is a distribution center, but they're not going to drive to it. They can't walk to it. They need the stuff to be delivered. It's very similar to what happened we went through it when we were doing some PPE. We were doing some PPE during COVID times, and exactly the same thing happened to us. We were doing other things. And then during when COVID outbreak came out, we had people that are like, hey, can you find masks? Can you find this? And then we're like, okay, yeah, I mean, we have already our Chinese suppliers, and we started basically to trying to find PPE, because by the time the government response arrived, if you remember, it was like
a long time. There was such
5-6 months, right?
Yeah. for sanitizers, masks, anything useful, like there was nothing anywhere.
Yeah, because the product was there. So it's not that they had a problem, but, you know, they had to get the contract and the stuff needs to be shipped. And then there was all the laws, the distribution, and a lot of people just started to work behind the scenes in kind of the smaller channels to start helping people on a smaller scale. And that's basically what we did as well during the pandemic. So for us, it was very much similar to what we went through with the pandemic. And then
you were prepping, like you already did that in pandemic. So then it was easy to apply in Ukraine.
Yeah, I mean, it was easy in the sense that we already knew the mistakes that were made during the pandemic. Like we were looking for suppliers in China, and then by the time the stuff, so we started to kind of using our strategy to be as fast as we could. And at the same time, basically we realized that it's like, okay, this can be bigger than we thought. And then we had started running up some of the investors as well. They wanted to donate more money, but we didn't have a charity. So we're now in the process of registering the charity, which is going to be finished the next week. So we're going to be like an NGO, so we can start getting more funds in. And then always, because fundraising was very dependent on this kind of trying to rally up investors. So we're launching today or tomorrow Artists for Good, which is a print-on-demand.
Really?
Yeah. I'll send you the
Send me. I'm gonna contribute.
Yeah, so Artists for Good is actually is a print-on-demand store. We collaborated with 20 artists in Ukraine, and with the company Latvia called Printful. So they're going to do all the printing and shipping for us. Amazing. And people are going to be able to buy T-shirts with cool prints from Ukraine, especially during the war. And all the profits are going to Commerce for Good, then to finance, and part of the profit is actually also going to the artists as well, because most of them are out of the job at the moment. So this is a way to kind of sell products as well to go in profit instead of just, getting donations in.
Oh my God, I love it. I love how you can connect. And this is the I don't know how my husband always calls it. It's not karma, but it's dharma.
Dharma.
That the way he spent some time in the monastery in Tibet, and the way they described the dharma was like, you do something what you are best at, but you give it to the service of the world, right? You give it to the service of the others. So if you're a baker and you bake bread, but you then give it out, and some of them you sell, some of them you give out to the poor, like this is what you can be the best, this is the best use of being yourself in this world. And I see you, Matteo, as doing exactly this, that you are an entrepreneur, you are e-commerce, you combine the dots, and then you can generate profits, but also like maybe just spin out new businesses, not businesses, NGOs, which then can help others, but by using your core skill set, right? Like e-commerce, anything around it, right? Helping masks, getting supplies, artists, giving them jobs. I love it.
Yeah, I think this is something that I've always been kind of good at. I realized through the years of see where there is the opportunity and tailor things around the opportunity and see what I have, make the most of what I have. But because you come from not poor background, but like let's say struggling background. I mean, this is what you do. I mean, you don't have much. You have to make the most of it. It's within you.
It becomes a superpower, right?
Exactly. Like you have two things, and that's it. You have to
put them together.
And I think that's always been. I think I brought this into business as well.
It's pretty amazing.